Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with another great Dark Beyond card review, and today is Warrior Day, and Warrior's getting one really weird legendary. Are we actually gonna get some battle cry minions? I don't know if we've had almost any since they put Brand into the game. And well, we're gonna review these cards. If you want to win these cards, we have 2 regular pre-orders, 2 mega bundles that I'm giving away out of my pocket. To enter the giveaway, like and comment in the video, link down description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel. Every 1,000 subs we get until all the cards are revealed, I will add another mega bundle. So hit that sub button, make me go broken. Speaking of battle cry minions, we have a brand new demon coming to Warrior, the Hostile Invader. This is a 5 mana 3/5 demon, and it has battle cry, spell burst, and death rattle. Deal 2 damage to all other minions. So this cannot go face, but that could be a possible 6 AoE to all other minions. That includes your own, so you could have enrage strategies and all that stuff going on, drawing with your acolyte or whatever. But overall, for 5 mana, you can probably realistically expect, I guess, to get the Battlecry and Spellburst at the same time. It's probably reasonable. You're probably going to need 6 mana to do that, though, bare minimum, because you don't really have 0 mana spells to really utilize that well in Warrior. And then the Death Rattle will come a bit later. It's kind of awkward AoE, and you already have Brawl and Sanitize and Aftershocks and a lot of other good cards. But this does have a body to it. It's a demon, and with Brand active, it's 4 AoE. That's quite nice, right? And then you can Spell Burst for another 2 and Death Rattle for another 2. Don't see it as a meta player right now, per se, but I could see after rotation, maybe when options are more limited, that you might want to do it. I don't think the Brand synergy is all that crazy that Brand rotates next year and you'd be like, oh no, I can't double Hostile Invader. But yeah, overall, it feels kind of arena to me. Doesn't feel super strong, but it could be just one of those subtle, nice AoE cards that, yeah, I play, and the enrage strategies, maybe there's something there too with it. You never know. So I'll give it a 2 out of 5. I'm not entirely sold, but I could certainly see it popping up. It has a shot. I don't think it's a terrible card. Just don't think it'll make the meta play. And then in Wild, no. You got Risky Skipper. That card is just so bonkers that you don't need a 5 mana card that does anything else. All the Warrior strats are around Risky Skipper, and I think will be to the end of time, unless Baku or again make a comeback for that class with Odin, right? If Odin goes back to 8 when it goes to Wild, maybe, just maybe. So we'll give it a 2 out of 5 in Wild as well. Next we have the 2 mana spell Jettison, where you discover a spell and then you spend 2 armor to discover another. So as long as you have 2 armor up, you can get 2 spells. That's not bad. It's some value. Don't know what deck this goes into. You can play this I guess Odin Warrior, Reno Warrior, just for some value. Getting spells can be nice, but I just feel is this worth the slot in your deck? Warrior spells historically are some of the weakest out there, although we'll see one next that's pretty insane. Although I don't know if you would really want to play it. It can be pretty insane. I don't know. And you really have to have 2 armor. All it is a hero power, right? You have hero power, Jettison, 4 mana, discover 2 spells. But again, that's not amazing. And Mage has got 4 mana to discover at least 2, if not more, which doesn't have much of a requirement at all. You just play it, right? So I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5 as well. Not really sold on it being worth playing. And in Wild, I'm gonna give it a 1, because the spell pool of Warrior in Wild is so bad. It's insane how many bad Warrior spells there are in Wild. I can't imagine it. I don't think you're gonna be putting this into your Wild deck. Next, we have a very large spell, as large as you could really get, a 10 mana epic spell, the Dwarf Planet. That art is freaking rad. This fills your board with random 2-cost minions that attack random enemies. So you can get 7 minions on the board. I think the average attack will be what, 2.5? It'll be between 2 and 3, and an empty board you're pushing probably 10 to 14 damage. That's a lot. And if there's a bunch of stuff on the board, I guess you'll sack off and kill off a bunch of stuff and maybe clear some things and all that. Yeah, this feels like a pretty nutty arena card as always. All these board fill cards in arena are always good. It's proactive, which is really nice. The problem is it's 10 mana. And unlike Mage, you don't have a lot of great ways of cheating this out. I think we have the new Draenei that you could play that and maybe hit Dwarf Planet and be happy about it, but then you cannot really run any other spells. So that would be a little bit complicated and probably not worth it. Again, I don't think this makes the ladder cut. I don't know where this goes, right? Like, I don't think as a standalone card it's terrible. I just don't see what warrior strategy is really going to be using this unless some of the later reveals make more sense of some of the more spell-centric stuff for warrior, but it's certainly a card that could emerge at some point. Like, I don't think you can ignore 7 random 2-drops that all attack, and if there's nothing on the board, go face, right? Like, that's something to consider. But as again, I gotta say for now, in Wild, or it's both Standard Wild actually. Wild, actually, Standard it's a 2, Wild is a 1. It's a 10 mana spell in Wild. No, not happening. But yeah, it's again, one that it could see play at some point. I just personally don't see it right now. And then lastly, we have just a really weird legendary here. Pretty cool though. Spore Empress Moldara. This is a 6 mana, 6/7 minion, so very nice stats for the cost. And it has start of game, so not battle cry, it's start of game. You shuffle 7 replicating spores into your deck. And what is a replicating spore? Well, it is a 5 mana legendary spell. Summon a random 5-cost minion. Your future replicating spores summon it as well. So the first one, 5 mana, get a random 5-drop. Not going to feel amazing on average, but you could get like a 10/10 rush. That could be pretty nice. A Doomguard, you never know. You can high roll. Let's think of the positive here. And then after that, when you cast another one, you'll get that random 5-drop and then the other one to go with it. And then it'll continue, right? The next one, you'll get a new 5-drop in the other 2. So this just gets exponentially better as you go along to the point where, yeah, I can fill my board with random 5-drops once I get to the very last one, right? Because you have 7 of them. Actually, I guess you won't have the room for the lot because you'll have cast 6. No, it should work out pretty well, right? Like you'll get the 7. Regardless, that's pretty good, but you got to spend a lot of mana on just random 5-cost minions that might not be all that great. But I feel like the second you cast the second one, you're already like pretty happy. It's if you could get to the second, the third, the fourth, that'll be the real test of it. It seems very slow, but for warrior, you know, that's a possibility. Thankfully, or I guess depending on how you feel about it, they changed the words the way Reno works, right? So you can have all these replicating spores in your deck and still play this in your Highlander warrior deck. That won't ruin it, right? So you still have that going for it. And get the 5 spells, plus you're gonna have that minion, a 6 mana 6/7. You probably don't want to play. You get a new patches in your deck as well. I don't know. It's another one that I'm not entirely sold on. I think the design is amazing. I think it looks really cool. But I just don't know if that strategy will be valid. You get like Sharp-Eyed Seeker or whatever. It's called, I never remember the name, but tutor these out too, which can be nice to get it going. So maybe it's not time for that card to shine for once. But again, I feel like it's too slow. It feels like these cards are all interesting design, are all pretty cool, but I don't know if they really make the cut. I feel like this card, it's just on the fringe again too. I don't see it as a bad card. I see it as a card that could be really fun to play, could be good. It just doesn't hit that level. I'll give it an optimistic 3 out of 5. I don't want to rate every card in this video unplayable, even though I think this is probably not going to work out, but we'll give it a 3 out of 5 for that snowballing replicated spore, which could be pretty cool. And in Wild, we'll give it a 1, where that strategy will certainly be way too slow. So that's the first batch of warrior reveals. We might have some patch notes to talk about and then some more card reviews to talk about later. So lots coming today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.